Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel The Code. So in previous video we discussed about the key concept discussed in PMBOK 8th edition, and in this video we are going to discuss about foundational element of project management. So this section starts with characteristics of a project. So it says that organizations nowadays expects project to deliver value in addition to the outputs and artifacts. So by the output here, we mean what we build in a project, that is deliverable, what we get out of the project. And value is what changed because of that deliverable, what changed because of what we built in the project. So project managers are expected to deliver both the output and value, which is aligned with organizational goals and stakeholder needs. So the next concept about the project says that organizational work includes project plus operations. So as we know, project is a temporary task which has a definite start and end, while operations are repeat tasks, which are ongoing tasks. By now you know that both project and operations create value, but their value creation process is very different. Let's understand this with a simple example. So there is a product company whose operational task is daily order fulfillment and customer support. So these ongoing operational activity leads to the outputs like orders are delivered successfully and tickets are resolved on daily basis. So these outputs delivered due to operational activity creates a value. Value means they brings a good change. So the change like consistent customer satisfaction, repeat purchase, stable revenue stream. Now let's understand how projects create value. So there is a project called Launch a New AI-based product recommendation engine. The output of this project is AI recommendation feature and technical documentation. So the value created by this project is 25% increase in average card value and improved user experience. So these examples clearly indicates that project and operations are different from each other and they create value differently. So the next we are going to talk about why do project ends. So we all know that project has a definite start and end date, right? But we are going to discuss what factors lead to the closure of a project. So the project ends when the project's objectives are achieved. That's a very positive one. When project objectives are achieved, project ends. But project also ends if sometimes we feel that objectives can no longer be achieved. It is not feasible, or resources are unavailable or exhausted, or priorities of the companies have shifted, or there is a legal or compliance issues or constraint which can lead to forceful closure of the project. You know what's the next best thing about a project is? Even if two projects aim for the same value or objective, each project differs due to the context in which it is carried out. Confused? Let me give you an example. So here on the screen we have two houses. Consider the construction of houses as a two individual project. So these two houses are constructed for living. So their objective is similar and they deliver the same output, that is house, and they create the same value. But even if the project are similar with the same objective and they create similar value, their scope might be different, their duration can be different, technology can be different, cost or risk can be different. That's why we say that even the two projects aim for the same value or objective, their context may be different. So now we can conclude that every project creates a value and that value takes the project from a current state to the future state. It creates a business value, profit, revenue. So project drives this change by addressing or meeting regulatory or social or legal requirements, satisfying stakeholder requests or needs, implementing or changing business or technological strategies, and creating or improving or fixing any product, process, organization, or services. Well, we have discussed a lot about project. It's time to discuss some interesting thing about operations. So the operations are the ongoing and repeat task which occurs on daily basis in an organization. So it transforms the input to output. It leads to efficient and effective production of product and services by optimizing the resource to meet the customer demands. So operations are a repeat task which leads to the function of an organization. But whenever there is a change If we want any significant change in this operational task, it becomes a project. Let's understand this with a simple example. Let's look into the some of the operational tasks that happens in the organization. It is a repeat and day-to-day task, like patients physically visit the hospital, doctor consult in person, records are maintained in the hospital system. So these are some key activities which happens day to day and run the hospital. Now the hospital management decides to bring a change in this hospital operational work. They want to offer telemedicine consultation. So this becomes a project. Inclusion of telemedicine consultation in the hospital is the new project. So once the telemedicine project is over and it is launched, it is used by the hospital to run day-to-day operations where patient can book consultation online and take consultation online. So this becomes day-to-day part of hospital, and we know that ongoing operations is out of the scope of project. There are specific scenario under which project and operations overlap. So, project overlaps with the operations while developing, upgrading, or expanding product or services. Like if the project in the pharma company is to launch a new drug. So, this is expansion of the product or services, and when it is launched, the drug becomes the part of ongoing operations. Project also overlaps with operations if an organization has to improve product, service delivery, or process, like a e-commerce company optimizing delivery by AI implementation. So basically they want to improve the delivery by AI implementation. This is a project. Once the AI is implemented, faster delivery becomes the operations. So project can also overlap with operations at the end of product lifecycle. Like if there is a product which is ongoing part of the operations, like smartphone model. So we launch a project to discontinue that smartphone model. The last one, project also overlaps with operations at closeout phase or at the end of iteration. So you must have seen in the Agile, after every sprint, we get some feature, right? That feature becomes the part of live product operations. So next we are going to talk about organization governance and project governance. So organization governance provides overall direction and control for the entire organization by direction and control through policies, procedures, decision to make strategic operational goals. So throughout the organization, they launch such policies which helps to achieve the strategy and goal of the project. While on the other hand, project governance focus on the specific processes and frameworks that should be implemented to manage individual projects effectively. So these are the project team who take decisions, launch processes, set up the framework so that projects can be completed effectively. Well, this was all about foundational elements of project management. In the next video, we are going to talk about relationship of portfolio, program, project, and operations management. We will keep decoding PMBOK 8th in the next module.